Hi there, my name is Stephen Kupitz, and today I would like to talk to you about the Optimum Performance Training Model as it relates to football, and specifically the wide receiver position. And I would like to focus on what I believe is the most important part of that, which is the stabilization phase. So there are three parts to the Optimum Performance Training Model: the stabilization, strength, and power phases. The stabilization phase, as Michael Clark et al. Described it, is meant to challenge both balance and spatial awareness, and doesn't really focus on increasing loads or increasing weight. The strength phase, as Stacy Penny et al. Described it, is meant to enhance stabilization, size, and the strength of the prime mover muscles. And the power phase is all about speed and power development. As Baumgartner et al. Stated, without the prerequisite gains from the stabilization and the strength phases, this phase cannot be started, as it relies heavily upon the gains from the other two phases. So the reasons that I believe stabilization is the most important aspect. In football, big plays result from, a lot of the times, from balance and people recovering from things that they wouldn't be expected to recover from. For example, running across the sideline and having the balance to stay in bounds and reach out and score a touchdown. Or, as recently as the Super Bowl, you could look at Julian Edelman's catch, where he had the ability to, even though he was down on the ground, to put his hands out and grab the ball and have that spatial awareness and balance to maintain his body control and keep that ball from hitting the ground multiple times. O'Sullivan et al. Stated that insufficient stabilization leads to altered force production, increased stress at the joints, and eventually will lead to injury. Stacy Penny et al. Stated that no matter the client's ability, stabilization exercises can always be tailored to help the athlete and progress. No matter what level you are, whether you're an amateur just starting doing planks, or whether you're an elite athlete doing elite level stabilization exercises that really test your ability to maintain your balance and your posture during exercise, you can always find something with stabilization exercises. Voigt et al. Stated that with balance, injury is less likely to happen when more intense exercises are added. In football and soccer, non-contact ACL injuries are very prevalent, and part of this has to do with they involve high-level power movements such as sprinting, jumping, and cutting, but they don't have the prerequisite stabilization of the ligaments and the joints to allow them to actually perform those exercises. So again, this is where stabilization becomes very important, because if you have that stabilization base, you're able to perform those power movements. Some of the cons, one of the biggest cons is that it is technically supposed to be at the beginning of the training program. However, one of the biggest things that you can do is, for example, plyometrics. Plyometrics are able to combine all three phases, the stabilization, strength, and power phases, into one. Another thing is that players that I've worked with usually don't enjoy the stabilization phase. It involves a lot of things like planks, putting the players in unstable positions, and it's something that until they become accustomed to it, they don't really prefer it. However, as I just said, once they become accustomed to it and gain that stabilization experience, they do become better at it, and it only helps their game. So as a coach, I believe that it helps the most.